All right, my friends, just remember, whenever you're in doubt, ask yourself, what would Jesus do? Or what would love do? That might be a good question. Whenever you find yourself in a tricky situation, what would love do? And remember that God is unconditional love, and unconditional love always says yes. You want to go run your car off a cliff? God says yes. You want to love thy neighbor as thyself? God says yes. You want to manifest heaven on earth? God says yes. All right, so here we are, my friends. We are now entering into the peak phase of the prep quarter of the rest year. So we are in the last little bit of this springtime energy. I don't know about you, but my own personal experience, the fire is hot, my friends. And so allowing it to be what it is, we were having a conversation, Coach TJ and I, before we got on the camera here, about the whole concept of force versus effort, and how when you are aligned with your heart, when you are moving from a place of love, yes, it might move you into very scary territory, but ultimately it's not hard, even though it may be the hardest thing that you've ever had to do. Because when you're moving from your heart, when you are aligned with the expression of your soul, your heart isn't worried about what's the most comfortable thing or what's going to make you look the coolest with all your friends. Your heart is worried about its growth. It's being the expression of all that you have always been the whole time. And so sometimes that looks like being in this spring, this fire energy, where it's like, no, bro, it's time to go. It's time to build. It's trying to transform. That is the fire element. Creation, transformation, but also burning down. So that's where learning how to play with these different elements, learning how to harmonize these different elements, because going into the summer energy, the summer element is water. So it's like we've had this very transformative force in the spring, but then we're going to be moving into this more passive flow and this nurturing energy of the summer. So being able to embrace these different seasons of life can be very helpful in navigating a lot of the different things that you may be experiencing, to where, again, when it's wintertime, rest. When it's springtime, work. When it's summertime, flow. When it's fall time, harvest. Celebrate and embrace the different seasons of your life. All right, so let us move on to the program. I know it's what we all came for here. So like I said, we're in this peak phase now. We're in the rest week, so everything's going to be lower. This is the first week going into the peak phase, the final 4 weeks of this quarter. Reminder that we have our quest, the very first quest of the Life Games is going to be at the end of this cycle. So I believe that is June 28th, so the end of next month. It's called the Treasure in the Forest. Okay, so remember there's 3 tasks to that. And well, you can watch one of the other videos. Well, never mind, I'm gonna tell you anyways. So one, you're gonna do max bench and tire flips for reps. Okay, that's task 1. And then that gives you a certain amount of time handicap for task 2, which is identifying different plants within the environment that are gonna open up different puzzle pieces that are gonna put together a map that's gonna open up task 3, which is finding the treasure in the forest. And by the way, none of those things are ready, but as the more we talk about it, it'll be there. And I'm saying this, so I'm committing to this. It is full commitment. So either way, it's going to happen. We got 4 weeks, so let's peak this boy. All right, take it away, Coach TJ.
And to build on top of that, everyone, they say what you focus on grows. All right, so if you focus on your problems, focus on the discomfort that you're going through, if you focus on how things aren't working out for you, like the reality, you're going to continue to manifest. And even more than that, you're just going to be miserable while you're going through it. But no matter what's in front of you, if you focus on abundance and you focus on the things you have to be thankful for, focus on the love that you have in your life, you'll get through the hard times. And then when you get to more of the abundance, like, you'll be able to appreciate it even more. So focus on what you want to focus on, right? Focus on what's important to you. You can experience it and be patient and be present with all that you're experiencing, but focus, keep your eyes right? If you're driving and it's storming outside, right? You're not gonna be looking around, looking at the rain, like, oh, it's raining, this is miserable. You're gonna be looking at the road ahead of you. You're gonna be looking at, I gotta keep my eyes on the road, right? You're not gonna start looking around like, oh, there's lightning, oh, there's like, or you're gonna crash your car. So keep your eyes forward, drive right through that storm, and then, oh, there's a silver lining. Oh, the clouds are gonna open up, and there you go. So
There's the rainbow.
there's the rainbow. Perfect. All right, weakness day. As Coach Nate said, it's a rest week, so everything's scaled a little down in terms of the intensity and the volume, but we still work it. Well, actually, to correct that, we are getting ready for what's coming next in terms of tests. We have the 10 rep max snatch and clean and jerk, but it's at a 1, and it is a rest week, so more reps, but not trying to like pound that weight necessarily, just kind of getting your body ready for that. All right, weakness day, 3-3-1. We got a snatch, pretty simple, 3 sets of 6, right? So if this is just the bar, it's the PVC pipe. Like you're just doing 6 reps, like whatever that looks like. Make it smooth, make it consistent. Okay, clean and jerk, same thing. 6 reps, lighter weight, smooth, consistent reps, and then tire flips. All right, 3 sets at 90 seconds. Right, so you're going the whole 90 seconds, but we're not focusing on just just putting your head in the ground. We're just gonna go at a nice, slow, steady pace, but just continue to keep the heart rate up a little bit and just move through it. It'll be good. All right, specific day.
All right, so specific day. We're getting specific. We've got 2-2-1 for the day, so 2 exercises. So we're just gonna do a squat and a bench press, and they're both gonna be 2 sets of 2 out of 1. And then just moving right into the strength day, we're going to do the deadlift. So if you're on the 3-day program, you're gonna hit your weakness day, you're gonna hit your strength day, so you're still gonna get a taste of the deadlift, even though you may not get the extra squat and bench work. But obviously then on test day, we do all of them, so you'll still be getting everything even within the 3-day program. So yeah, strength day, it's just 1 rep out of 2. So you should be able to go a little heavier. Again, it is a rest week and it is a 2, so nothing too crazy, but just get a little bit of a feel for some weight, because now that we've been doing all these reps, getting to touch some of the higher end weights will actually help us to really, especially in this peak phase, to really maximize our performance with the test, with the 20 rep max. All right, and then, technique day is just bar work, just rest day primarily. I mean, even me, I've just been doing the 5 days, so I've been taking my rest day on Thursday, but the option is there if you are called to do that 6th day and get some extra work in. All right, take it away, Coach TJ.
All right, everyone. So accessory day. Also, too, you guys, if you get there and you just have the deadlift, like if you want to do a little bit extra work, you can. Again, just make sure that it flows. And it's like, again, we're not trying to do too much right now because it's the rest week, but just keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Accessory day. All right, starting off, we have a nice little, it's a little bit of strong, a little bit more just like overall conditioning with the suitcase carry plus Turkish get up. All right, it's a nice little core, some instability there. So 1 dumbbell, you're gonna go, or the frame or whatever that suitcase carry looks like for you. Going down 100 feet with one side, turn around, other side with the other hand, and then I got 4 Turkish get-ups on each side. So if you guys remember, we did that a few weeks ago, but if not, you're laying on the ground, you have the dumbbell or even just your hand, right? If the dumbbell's a little bit too much, and I'm basically like going from my back to my elbow, pushing it into the knee, and then going all the way up, coming all the way back down. All the way up and all the way down is 1 rep, and we got 4. So you scale it how you need to, but that's the Turkish get-up. 2 rounds of both of those. Okay, 100 feet per side, 4 reps per side. Then we've got a little bit of bodybuilding / corrective stuff. And so we got a lat pull down, just pull down machine. Working the upper back and biceps. And then the incline dumbbell chest press. So we'll get that nice little angle on the incline, 2 dumbbells, cranking them out. Okay, decent weight, but it's a 1, so not too crazy. And then the cable chop. So we've done reverse chops a lot, but the chop itself, starting from the top, right, I'm gonna have my inside hand in that handle first. I'm gonna reach up and pulling down all the way across my body. Nice low athletic stance. A lot of rotation there, using the whole body to like go from the top all the way down, trying to keep a nice neutral spine. All right, really just getting the whole body activated with that one. So that's gonna be, we got 1 round of all these, 1 minute a piece. The chop, you're gonna do 30 seconds on one side, turn around, 30 seconds on the other side. So yeah, that is your accessory day.
All right, and then we've got our test day. So this is gonna be at a 3 intensity. So this current week that we're on right now, well, as we are recording this, is the peak week of the build phase. So likely you will end up hitting maybe more weights that you have so far. I mean, ideally in this peak week of the build phase, but then going into the rest week, this could be another opportunity maybe to scale it back just a touch, or maybe just keep the same weight that you've done. Because again, we want to 2 steps forward, then now we're going to take a little bit of a step back before we really send it off into the rest of the peak phase here. So it's at a 3. And I mean, we've been doing this already, so you know what it is. 20 rep max, squat, bench, deadlift. And don't forget, the native plant flashcards are in the ethers. They are existing in the potential right now. And we are using the process of life alchemy, working with the different elements to bring them into material manifestation for your convenience. But right now we ain't got them. Soon. They will show up in the perfect time. Trust me. All right. And then lastly, so this week is going to be our second ceremony, Force for Nature ceremony. So the ceremony, in my view, this is where everything comes together. This is where the physical and the mental and the emotional and the spiritual all come together, enacted in ceremony. So there's music, there's story, there's specific teachings and lessons that are related to the overall program as a whole that really aligns with all of this as far as the different phases and elements and things that we've been touching about, week after week with the program. And then there's specific exercises, whether that be physical or more template and designing for different elements of your life. Okay. So definitely something that I invite you to if you feel called. It's a really, really good time. There most likely will be some food involved. So I know that's always, that gets me going. So that's what we got for our test day. And that'll be later in the day. Like usually we held that at like 6 at the Garden of Eden. Right next to, I just realized that, the church is called Noah's Ark. So right next to Noah's Ark, we got the Garden of Eden. And that's where ceremony will be held. And yeah, then we rest. Although this week, I did not rest on my rest. I started my week early because the Pine Truth Preserve is calling my name. But yes, rest on Sunday. And then we were just going to keep this baby rolling.
Keep it rolling. Hey. Focus on what's important. Get through it. It's tough, but it's there, and you get to choose what you do with it. Right? Can't control the outcome or the situations always, but you control this. You control listening to this, and just keep moving, baby. Mm-hmm. We're proud of you. We love you guys.
Mm-hmm. Fear is near, but love is always here. Blessings, friends.